Rubio or Cruz will catch fire. That can absolutely happen. But for you to catch fire,
well,
as far behind as you are, very difficult.
A lot of things can happen, Bill. You have to recognize that, particularly now that there's only 5 candidates in the race, it's very possible that we might actually turn to the issues rather than personalities. And if that were to happen, things could change pretty quickly.
But you cut your staff in half. Is that a fact, by the way? I know that's been reported, but is that a fact? You cut your staff down?
Well, it's not quite in half, but we have way more people than we needed. A lot of duplication going on, and the people who were running the campaign before we changed things around clearly didn't know what they were doing financially. So that has changed dramatically. We have a much more efficient system now. So things like the report in the Washington Post yesterday that says we spend more per vote than anybody else. You know, that's taking into account the frivolous spending that was going on before we made the change.
Okay, so next, Nevada doesn't really matter for you tomorrow night, but next Tuesday does, a week from tomorrow. You know, Doc, I got to tell you, I just don't think you're going to do it. It's not you either. It's history. It's almost like Governor Bush in the sense that it was just a wrong time for Governor Bush up against the Colossus.
Yeah. So maybe, but remember, Bill Clinton didn't win anything until the 6th contest.
Yeah, but you got a special circumstance this year, and you know it with Trump. I mean, you got a very special circumstance there. It's almost like the Obama circumstance. That was very special as well. So my question is, if you don't do well on Super Tuesday, you have to pack it in. Is there someone in mind, you don't have to tell me tonight, I don't think it's fair for you to do that, but is there someone in mind that you would get behind? Because you are very well respected in this country among Republicans and many Democrats as well. I mean, you may not win, but they still like you and they still respect what you stand for. You have somebody in mind that you would go for?
Well, certainly if I were going to do that, I'd want to sit down and talk with whoever that was. You know, I can see myself, I know that if I'm not the candidate, I will support whoever the candidate is.
But you know, your support in the primaries, if you don't continue after Super Tuesday, would be important to any candidate. You see what I'm saying to you? Because you're so well respected.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just not willing to make that commitment without having a series of conversations. That's all.
Okay.
And you know, again, I want to emphasize this whole scenario has been based on personality and fear and anger. At some point, we actually start dealing with the facts. We actually start dealing with the solutions. And when that happens, I think you may see a fairly dramatic change. This is a very unusual year. It's not unlike any other. And the stakes are extremely high. We're at the precipice. And if we make the wrong decisions this time, we may have done our children and our grandchildren in.
All right. Doctor, as always, we appreciate it. Good luck to you. And I want everybody to know we did invite John Kasich on this evening, but he had other scheduling commitments. When we come right